Alright, this is part 2 of our quick tutorial on how to change sounds. Next we're going to talk about the low frequency oscillators. You have low frequency oscillator 1, low frequency oscillator 2. This basically adds a pulsing low sound, a lot of which is used in dance music, dubstep in particular. Try to do this. It's interesting for me because my low frequency 1 oscillator for some reason won't kick in. So I'm using low frequency oscillator 2. You can try it with low frequency oscillator 1, see what happens. First thing I want to do is I want to assign it to our first oscillator right here. So under source, I'm going to select low frequency oscillator 2 in this case because I know it works. And then you have a tune mod wheel up here. So if I play a note, you really can't hear how it affects it. You don't hear these on their own until they're assigned to an oscillator. So in this case, I'll use my tune mod wheel. So you can hear how that oscillator's kicking in. So if I were to take the oscillator out and use the tune mod wheel, you wouldn't hear anything. So, and you can experiment with the parameters down here as far as the phase, the rate, depth mod, everything. So you're already creating a fairly interesting sound. So those are our low frequency oscillators. The last thing I want to talk about is our envelopes over here, which are really important to designing sounds. And again, like I said, this is a whole course, and I'm giving you some ideas and just how to experiment. So we have a ADSR, which is fairly typical for designing sound, and they stand for attack, decay, sustain, and release. Now in this case, the attack of the note is how quickly this sound is going to sound when I hit a keyboard or hit my... So you hear it sounding fairly quickly. I shouldn't talk over while I'm playing the sound, but here you can, it's a fairly quick sound when I'm hitting my musical keyboard, or fairly quick attack. Now if I move this up, here how it sort of just fades in. I'm pressing my key, and the sound is not coming in nearly as quickly. I'll skip decay and get to sustain for a minute. This is how long the sound is going to sustain when I hold the key down. Now if I lower this down, here how it starts to fade out fairly quickly. I'm still holding my key down. Okay. Now decay is basically once it hits this parameter right here, it's going to start to decay, and I can set that for a long decay, still holding the key down, or a shorter decay. So if I put these to 0, see how my sound is not sustaining and not decaying. So you can experiment with that. And release is how long it takes this to actually release and stop playing. So if I send a long release, I'm just going to hit my keyboard once. And how long it takes to release that sound and let go of it. If I set a short one, so that gives you an idea of how you can experiment with these parameters to shape your sound as far as its attack, decay, and release and sustain. The other interesting thing you can do with this is you can actually add a chorus down here by clicking on this. And now if you listen to my sound, it has a nice little chorus sound on it. You can select type, so you can go down here to classic, dramatic, or ensemble. You can select your depth and how wet, how much chorus you want, wet or dry. So that allows you to basically, again, manipulate the sound. So this should be enough just to get you started on designing new sounds.